So sometime back, uh, a young lady in my office requested for a one-on-one, um, and then she started. So she was a recently college graduate, but worked with us for a little while. And in the catch-up, she broke down into tears, saying, "My manager is letting me go. I did everything that he asked me to do. Why am I being rated low?" And then further tears started to come down. And she said, "I put in so many personal sacrifices. I missed my brother's wedding because the team was short of, the people on those days. And it was a horrible situation for her." So I think to myself, what went wrong here? What could we have done differently in this girl's career? What could she have done differently to prevent being this frustrated event? So today I wish to share with you some of those learnings and my perspective in the years that I've been in the industry on what are those key skills, what are the key attitudes that you can bring forward in your corporate life, which will help you to system. Um, yeah, if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so I thought I'd break it down for you in terms of what are the three main lenses that you would be evaluated at or looked at in your corporate life, right? And your career will be like a nice, delicious piece of cake with multiple layers. Okay, but in between those bites, you're gonna get some sweetness, some saltiness, and some sourness. Okay. Um, but I'm breaking up for you in terms of the three main lenses that will be looked at. And what I want to share with you is that please understand your career or your corporate life is not going to be like a highway on a one-way smooth track where every couple of years you keep growing in terms of your designation. Your career will be like a roller coaster ride. There will be highs, there will be lows, there will be times of fear, there will be times of joy. Okay, but the more you understand that, what you're getting into, what the ride is going to look like, hopefully the more prepared you will be for what comes ahead. The first and key skill that I would suggest to all of you as young college graduates who went into the workforce is your mindset, your positive attitude. Like I was sharing with a few other people before coming up here, when you go for jobs, many people will have the same qualifications on their resume as you have. CFAs, MBAs, PMS, etc. What will help you get selected? It will be the attitude that you demonstrate, the mindset that you demonstrate. And further, as you go on in working in your corporate life, it's this asset or this mindset that will really be a differentiator for you. So, what are the key tips that can help you show this? Right? One, no matter what your BAU is, okay, so BAU is what we call business as usual, which basically means your day to day job, the tasks that you're expecting to do, with the expected amount of knowledge to execute it well. So whatever that BAU is giving to you, even if it's data crunching, running reports, pulling things together, do it and master it, right? Be an expert at it. So that's the first piece. The second, build as much knowledge that you can about that product or that process. If you are in, for example, the finance industry like I am in, and you are part of, let's say, equity trading or you're part of fixed income, learn everything you can about that product. Not just what I do on my job, but learn more about the product. If your interest is, let's say, marketing, learn everything you can about marketing, not just what your job is asking you to do about marketing. The third and a very, very important part, be a good team player. Okay. You will be part of a team, small team, large team, depends on the company you join. And you will find that in certain situations, your fellow teammates may at times work the same commitment as you, and many or very often they're not. They're going to count days off. They're not going to work the hours that you work. They're not going to show the commitment that you do. But you still have to deliver a project. And it's also possible that eventually your manager may think that they are doing all the hard work and you are doing less. Okay? And that's the reality. Be aware of it. But at the same time, you contribute your best. Be a team player. Whether your manager recognizes it or not in the immediate future, you will benefit from it in the long term. The fourth part of this positive mindset and continuous learning, be easy for your manager to give you feedback. We all want to hear positive things about ourselves. We all want to hear the good things that we're doing. You're a hard worker and so, right? Which is great. That's hopefully will happen from your manager. But what you should really encourage and make easy for your manager is to tell you where you can improve, where you can get better at. And please welcome it. Don't be defensive about it. No, you won't see this I'm doing about it. Welcome it, accept it that that's the way that that person is viewing, interpreting your contribution to that process. So please welcome feedback. We often say feedback is a gift. Critical feedback, developmental feedback is also a gift. It's just really wrapped in a very crumpled wrapper that you may not about to open, but there's still a strong gift inside. So when your manager calls you for feedback, walk it in the notepad and a pen. Always make a note of it. Because he may talk 30 lines, 50 lines, you may walk away with two, but you will miss the remaining 28. Right. Okay, the next mindset and attitude is on problem solving. Very, very important skill for you in the corporate world. Most of what you do will be largely automated. Somebody else has solved the problem long before you came into the seat. So it's going to be largely automated or largely structured in place. But where you will stand out is how you can make it better. In the industry, you call this automation, efficiency, STP, which is straight-through processing. These are the terms we use of how you want to improve the process. Right? If you just do your BAU, you do what is asked of you, you may do well in your career, but it take you very long. But if you start to think, how can I improve this process? How can I make it better? How can I automate this? How can I make it more efficient? You have a much higher chance of success. When you deal with problems, you are largely going to deal with two main types of problems. Problem A is going to be problems in the process. Somebody is not giving me information in the right way. That team is not providing me the right level of input that was causing my teamwork. We need to sit back late because they give us information late. You're going to face people related, process related problems, right? And the second type of problem is people problems. These are problems where you have difference of opinions or the so-called conflict, right? Where you disagree with other people in your team or in your organization. Learning how to deal with these problems is a very, very important mindset. If you go into especially a people problem and you go into it with the mindset that says, I'm wrong, I'm right, they are wrong, right? They are the problem, very unlikely that you're going to solve that problem. So these two aspects of problem solving are really important. Look at the process and look at what people challenges you're going to face and how you can contribute to it. If you help your manager solve his or her top two problems, you are more or less guaranteed to succeed. If you become a problem for your manager, then you have a different problem. So always try to identify what is my manager's biggest problem and my senior managers. You always have a manager and somebody above him, right? What are the problem areas they have? And how can I help solving those problems? That will help you succeed. The third and the last one is the leadership mindset. And this is very difficult to quantify. It's an intangible skill, right? It's what we in the industry call soft skills, which I think is that you can't always measure, right? But what are these key skills? If you Google leadership, you'll get 100 and maybe 1,000 web pages that are giving their own interpretation of what is leadership. And that's absolutely fair because, like I said, it's natural, so it's free to everyone's interpretation of it. My experience of leadership is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and takes people along with you. The team is looking to this person to help guide the way, go the way, and take them along with them in that journey and help them also learn and succeed. A really good quote that I've heard of in leadership skills: work harder on yourself than on your job. Work harder on yourself and on your job. Keep improving your own personal skills, and that will make you far, far more valuable in the industry. So, three tips on what you can do in leadership mindset. And once again, this is for the initial part of your career. The latter part will require another TED talk. But in the initial part of your career, there will be three main skills that can benefit you. One, communication skills. Highly underrated. I don't know if the schools or colleges or universities pay as much focus on this, but it's a very, very, very important and very valuable skill set. Communication skills is about being able to take a difficult or a complex problem, but able to explain it in a relatively easy to understand way. How do you explain something to a 5-year-old? If you're able to do that, you master one part of communication skills. How are you able to how are you able to express your frustration and irritations in a professional way? Right? That's also communication. How are you able to say no to certain people in your team or maybe your managers from time to time in a professional way? Those are all communication skills. So please spend some time and effort on building this skill. It will benefit you all through your life. Whether you're on the initial phase or you're the CEO, you will need communication skills and it will be a key part of your corporate life. The second piece is influencing skills. How do I convince others to think about my perspective? And this is not about I know I'm right, they are wrong, and they're just not seeing it. We all will think that from time to time. But you must learn the art of negotiation. You must learn the art of convincing. You must learn the art of influencing. In your corporate life, you will face these frustrations where other people may not pay much attention to you. You may feel other people are getting more credit than you, but that's largely because you're not communicating or speaking up in an effective way. So learn these skills of how to communicate, how to influence, and negotiate. And the third and probably last part of this is build your network. Your network inside the company, your network outside the company. In your organization, go beyond your immediate team. Understand what team A is doing, team B is doing, team C is doing. There may be things that your team is struggling with that somebody sitting 100 meters away may have already solved. Or has got a tool to already do it. Or has got a process that already works to solve that. Right? The more you go and speak to people and interact with people, build networks with people, the higher chance of you succeeding in your job. All right. And the last slide is a summary. Okay. Every company will have its own performance evaluation system. They are different in different organizations, but largely these three will kind of summarize the three main lenses that you will be looked at in your career. The level of focus of each of these layers will vary. In the initial part of your career, the first two become very, very important. Are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Right? So these will become very important parts in the engagement part of your career. And slowly people will start to look at leadership potential. May not be a sharpened pencil right now, but do I think this person can sharpen up and enhance those leadership skills? Do I think 3 years, 5 years from now, this person could be the manager of this team? Alright, so with that, I conclude and I wish you all the best for your careers ahead.